So we're going to start with Rockefeller habit number 1. Rockefeller habit number 1 is all about having a healthy and aligned executive team, which means that you have a leadership team in your business and that team is aligned. They see things the same way. They're able to engage in healthy debate. They're able to make effective decisions. They're able to communicate effectively, and they're able to execute and go into the business and communicate down into the business what is happening at that top level in the team. So give yourself a score for Rockefeller habit number 1. Habit number 2 is all about prioritization. Is the business able to prioritize what the most important thing is in the business that we must focus on today? Are they aligned with the number 1 thing that needs to be accomplished this quarter? The things that are required to move the business forward. Does your business have that ability to focus and prioritize? Give yourself a score for habit number 2. Habit number 3 is communication. So this is what we'll be doing during the day, is exploring all of the different meetings that are essential to drive execution in the business. So does your company have a rhythm of communication established, right the way from daily meetings that happen every single day of the year, monthlies, quarterlies, all the way up to your annual meetings? Is that organized, effective, and efficient in your business? Habit number 4 is about accountability. Does every facet of your organization have somebody accountable for it? So that's accountable for individual functions, say for example sales or projects or delivery, but even accountability down to processes, down to each individual line on your profit and loss. Does every facet of the organization have somebody accountable, somebody that gives that part of your business a voice, make sure that the goals and targets set for that facet of the business are executed on and met? Habit number 5 is employee feedback. Are we actively collecting feedback from our employees? Are our employees heard? Do we then analyze and review that feedback, and do we close the loop on it, making changes as necessary? And habit 6 is the flip side of that. Are we doing the same for our customers? Are we regularly collecting feedback, quantitative and qualitative feedback from our customers, analyzing that, getting around the table, reviewing that feedback, and then again, closing the loop, taking the steps necessary to sharpen the saw, improve the business, and drive more value to our customers? Habit number 7 is your core foundation. So this is your core values, your mission, your vision, your purpose. Are these established in the business, but also are they alive in the business? Are they in your job adverts when you hire people? Do people join your business because they feel aligned with your mission and aligned with the work that you're doing? Are they kept alive in your office? Are they on posters around the office? How do you keep them alive? So do you have that in your business? And is it kept alive? Is it used in the language of your business? Are people referring to it? Does it guide decision making? That would be what a 5 would look like. Habit number 8 is a clear strategy. But specifically, the high watermark for habit number 8 is if I went into your business and asked a handful of people what the strategy was for that business, would they all give me a coherent and very similar answer? Is the strategy clear enough in the business that everybody in your business can articulate it? Maybe not verbatim word for word, but has a strong sense of what the strategy in your business is. So do you have that clarity yourself? Is it clear amongst your leadership team? And is it potentially clear right across your business? Habit number 9 is about individual KPIs. And the wording here is, can every individual in your business answer quantitatively whether they have had a good day or a good week? Does everybody know what the number is that they are driving that then drives the business forward? Can every employee answer that question? And finally, habit 10 is taking all of this and creating visibility. Do we have an environment of visibility? Is this visible across the business, your plans and your performance, your culture, your core value? Is there dashboards? Are there posters? Are there systems that allow everybody to absorb all of the information that is going on in the business and see exactly where the business is and understand why this business exists and what it takes to move it forwards? Okay. So what I want you to now do is circle your 3 lowest scores. So circle your 3 lowest scores. If you've got some that are equal, then you figure that out. And now I want you to delve into the bullet points, just for those 3. If you're not sure which 3 to circle because they're all the same number, think about which ones are hurting the most. And that may not necessarily be the lowest score, but which ones are really hurting the most. And as you read through all of the sub-bullet points, and for those of you, I know there's a few people here who are fairly new, all of the sub-bullet points, a lot of it is sort of scaling up languages, so things that are quite specific to the book. So don't worry if you don't understand everything on there. It's all in the scaling up book. But anything that comes to your attention that could be an area for improvement, then go ahead and underline that. And as you read through, what I want you to then digest, as you've made it through all the bullet points for the 3 things that you've circled, is use the box at the bottom to decide your primary focus. If you were to go off and develop one thing on here, so not the whole of a habit, but maybe just one thing that's in one of those sub-bullet points, what would you go ahead and develop? What's hurting the most? What would have the greatest impact? And the reason that I want you to pick one thing is that this is going to be a thread that we cover throughout today. Your ability to focus, your ability to prioritize will be absolutely critical as you execute. And some of you will be very upset when you go and look in the dictionary and read the definition of prioritize, and it does not say do 10 things. So your ability to choose the most important thing and focus will be absolutely critical. Okay, so who put accountability down? Possibly absolutely everybody. So we will be covering some elements of accountability today, not specifically. We primarily covered accountability in People Day last quarter, but we will be covering lots of elements of it. It ties in with some, actually it ties in with the second one that's come up as well. So who put visibility, dashboards and things like that. Okay, so quite a few of you. Again, not something that we're going to do today, but it's amazing how effective having visibility of information is in a business. And we don't tend to think about it because we have a lot of information in our heads, but obviously our staff don't. And if they do, there's no way of knowing it's the same information. But if you have a dashboard, everybody's got the same information. I came through airport security on the way here. It was actually London Gatwick. And as I was waiting for my bag, which had obviously been put to the side to be checked, and I'm looking back at everybody come through the security scanners, and what I can see is that above every single security scanner is a dashboard that says how many people are moving through per hour and a ranking for that lane. And one lane is in first place, and they're moving quicker, and they're above the average. And I thought, what a load of crap. Who cares? Do these people really care how quickly people are moving through the scanner? Isn't that like going way over the top with dashboards? And then I realized that I've never been through security so quickly in all my life, and the staff were having fun. They're moving quickly, they're moving the people quickly, they're high-fiving, they're moving around, they're looking at the scores. The energy in airport security was actually quite incredible. And I can't believe that myself, I'm saying the energy in security was like really high, but it was. Like normally it's like, just put your bed, take your laptops out, and your hair dryers and all of that stuff. But these guys were having fun, and there were dashboards everywhere. And it reminded me of this, that the importance of visibility is not just for you as a leader, it's for everybody. And it can gamify things. Any of you watch or observe or play any sport, there's a scoreboard. And you wouldn't play it without the scoreboard. It would be meaningless without the scoreboard. And for some sports, you're watching things down to the 100th of a second because somebody's got to come first. And that's what dashboards and visibility do. Customer feedback. Ooh, that ended up number 2. Who put customer feedback? Okay, why are we not collecting customer feedback? Or was it more that it was a pain point? Who put that? Why are we not collecting customer feedback? I saw you raise your hand.
I can't answer because life was my lowest score.
Is it something that you've not got round to?
Yeah.
But thought of? Or, yeah. Yeah, not got round to. Who else put customer feedback? What's going on?
Just don't have any skills, haven't really don't know how to do it. It's just, yeah.
Okay, all right. It's not an exercise that we're going to do today, but for all of those of you that put that, that's massive. You're running a business to drive value to your customers and obviously make some profit. You won't make the profit if you're not driving value to the customers. You've got to engage with and understand how the customers are experiencing the delivery of our value. And execution is all about driving that value to our customers. So you've got your one takeaway from that. Okay, any questions about any of these? Happy to dive into any of these, but then we're not going to cover every one of these 10 habits today. Yes, sir?
Back to the customer feedback, does it matter that it's not it's informal, as in like conversation, and does it have to be formalized for you to track it?
Yeah, really good question. If you've got millions of transactions happening a day, then you're going to want something, really kind of automated and cool. But if you've got a small number of customers and you've got great relationships with them and you're picking up things in conversations, our speaker this morning, John, and we had a nice talk about the football. And maybe, that sort of informal feedback is perfect. That's amazing. That's customer relationship stuff. So it very much depends. It's a great question. It very much depends on what your relationship is with your customers and how many of them there are. At scale, obviously, you want to automate it. And there are surveys out there that you can put in your emails or in your invoice or whatever. There are 100 ways to automate this. A quick little Google search will do that for you. But informal, small businesses is probably better. But what's critical is that you then record that and share it within the business. So something that we'll be covering today is a weekly meeting. Fantastic place to bring in customer feedback, just at the start of the meeting. Has anybody had any interesting conversations with customers? Now you mention it, I did have a conversation with a customer today, and they really liked this, or they really didn't like that. Amazing. So it's the sharing of it that is the key piece. How you collect it, different for every business. Don't stress about the collection. So informal is fine. Start there. Rather than thinking, I need to invest in a system to collect feedback. Because what you actually get, who likes filling in forms? Like online forms, yeah. Nobody likes filling in online forms. So if you try and overcomplicate it by digitizing it and sending all of your customers a feedback form, what you'll get is probably no feedback. Or very minimal. Or feedback from the one or two people that like filling in forms, and they're not your best customers, because who likes filling in forms? Yes, question. My answer to the question is that in some ways it's really exactly the same. Because if you have everybody in the office, but you're not communicating with them, it's the same as everybody not being in the office and not communicating with them. Yes, in my security scanning example, there's a dashboard above where people are moving. But if you're in an office, then you don't have that kind of gamification. And if you have a remote team, then it's exactly the same thing. What happens in the meetings? Even if it's just a daily 5-minute meeting, what communication channels are people plugged into, whether it's Teams or Slack or whatever it is, daily information coming across those channels. There could be a channel where maybe people actually can't even reply, but it's just a channel where they're receiving updates, where they're being reminded. I've seen a lot of leaders record a weekly video. Just a selfie video now. It used to be that you might need some software on your computer, but hey, now everybody can just do a selfie video and go straight out over WhatsApp. You could just be walking down the street and have a thought. Hey guys, I just came through airport security and absolutely nothing to do with what we do, but I was really inspired by the energy that I saw there and this experience that I had. This kind of communication, visibility is not just about, are we hitting our profit goal? Because most of your staff probably don't really care that much about your profit goal. We just got this fantastic new client. Or if you're on site, we've just done this fantastic install. Here's a picture of me opening a bottle of champagne with the customer. So recording all of the highs of the business, and quite frankly, the lows, takes your staff on a journey and creates this visibility. And I don't really think it makes any difference now whether you're remote as a whole business or not, because everybody's out on the road moving around, doesn't have time. We're all working asynchronously anyway. It's more about, I think, your ideas and your communication skills as a leader. Does that answer the question? Yeah, fantastic. Okay, one last question. Thank you for that experience share. Perfect. And I think that probably answers your question. But yes, they're on a journey. Sometimes you're going uphill, sometimes you're going downhill, sometimes it's easy, sometimes everything's amazing, and sometimes it's tough. And when it's tough, as you shared, better that your team is aware of that because they need to conserve resources. Better that your team is aware of that because now they know where they need to prioritize. Better that your team is aware of that so they can come up with ideas that you may not have. And better that you share it with your team so that you're not the person that cannot get to sleep at night because you haven't shared it and it's just going around in your head, but at least you know that you've shared it with people. You would probably do this with, maybe personal issues with friends. Many of us would do that. Actually, for guys, we tend to even struggle to do that. But in your business, share everything. Better that your people think that you're a transparent and open leader than just somebody who's a fair weather leader. But why are they not talking to us and they've been closed in their office sort of smashing the wall today, you know? Because they will know anyway, at an energetic sort of level. I think your staff will know if there are problems. And if they don't, that's even worse, because it might mean they'll be going, yeah, let's order new laptops for everybody. And you haven't got any cash this month or something like that. Share everything. Or at least, you know, I think that speaks to your share, and that would certainly be my view. Okay, let's get on to the most exciting topic of the day, management.